Hi, my name's Drew and I'm an apprentice founder here at the Getty Foundry at Colonial Williamsburg. We are a metalworking shop, but we are different from all of the other metalworking shops here in town. Everybody else is a smith. You may have heard of a blacksmith or perhaps a silversmith, and they shape all of their work by hammering. In the foundry, we shape all of our work by melting metal and pouring it into molds. Basically, we have two different categories of metals. We've got something that's low in temperature or something that's white hot or quite hot, I guess we could say here. So if we're working in lead or maybe pewter, we can use a permanent mold, usually made in bronze. Pour that molten metal in the top, give it a good 30 seconds to harden up in there, and then we can separate the halves and pull out a spoon. But as you can see, right, there's the pouring gates, there's seams. There might be some defects in there that we'll need to file out. And then we need to sand out those file marks and continue to polish it until we get to a result that we're kind of happy with. And that's for the low temperature metals. Now, if we're talking about anything white hot, we're pouring those between 2,000 to 3,000 degrees. And obviously we can't pour that into a metal mold. We'll simply just melt the mold. So we do a process called sand casting. We make the molds out of sand, but it's not just our everyday normal sand that we can go outside and get. We have to use a very specific sand, one that's being dredged up from riverbeds because it has just the right content of clay and sand mixed together. So we add water to that sand so we can shape it, and we'll pack it into a frame. Those frames are called flasks, and then we'll press a pattern into that sand. Well, pattern, just imagine whatever item that you want to make. Perhaps it's a spoon, a bell, shoe buckles, candlestick parts and pieces for teapots, anything you can imagine, right, that needs to be shaped. By pouring, we'll carve it out of wood first. Do all the shaping, all the detail work in wood, press that down into the sand. When we remove those models or patterns, we have ourselves a mold. We'll just dry it out very well first. We'll pour the metal on in and let that harden up. Something that hot, between 2,000 to 3,000 degrees, it will solidify in about 5 or 6 seconds, but it's still glowing orange. It's way too hot to handle. Let it cool down for a few hours, right? And then we can open those molds, but unfortunately, the sand mold at that point is going to break. That sand sticks to the metal as it cools, so those molds are one-time use only. However, it's a lot better than it sounds. We can reuse a lot of that sand, reuse those wooden models, and simply remake that same mold again, and we'll get things to match that way. We're doing the whole range of metals, trying to appeal to anybody's pocketbook. But are you coming in here to shop first? Probably not, right? England at this point in history has made it illegal to ship what they're calling unworked metals. So the raw materials cannot be sent here to the colonies, so we're sourcing all of our metals from Virginia itself. We don't mine a whole lot here in Virginia. We get lead, we get iron, and that's about it. Everything else is all scrap metal. So things people own, right? Anything made in metal, it gets worn out, it gets broken. You can bring that into our shop and we're gonna buy that from you. We're gonna melt it down again and make something new out of it. On average, it was usually about twice the price of anything that was made in England and then sent here for sale in the colonies. You simply shopped at the store first. But if you didn't want to wait, maybe that store's out of what you wanted, you could come on in here and we'll make it for you, right? You're just gonna pay that convenience fee of having it that same week instead of 6 or 8 months later.